Hey, you guys, this is Rashawn Ellis for News, Views, and Conversations. Just wanted to pop back in and leave you with another video from the one and only Jane Elliott. She is phenomenal. I understand that she's 91 years old. We need a lot more like her. She's given us so much good information on race, the human race, and I love her whole dialogue as to what she has to say about it. So I definitely want to leave you one of her videos today. Her mission statement is one race. Jane Elliott, internationally known teacher, lecturer, diversity trainer, and recipient of the National Mental Health Association Award for Excellence in Education, exposes prejudice and bigotry for what it is, an irrational class system based upon purely arbitrary factors. And if you think this does not apply to you, you are in for a rude awakening. So I definitely want to leave you one of her videos. I just find them to be so profound. And I wish we had more like her that stood up, for what all this racial mess is, telling us about it, educating us about it, and really letting us know that we're all one people. It shouldn't be about, what somebody's color is. It should be about your intellect and what's here. I love her, love her, love her. Definitely take a look at it and let me know what you think about it in the comments. I will see you on the next News, Views, and Conversations. Have a great weekend.
The reason our fearless leader, our cheater, and the reason he is closing Planned Parenthood, sorry about that, the reason he is closing Planned Parenthood, what's the word I want? Planned Parenthood offices is because too many white women are abortions. And he thinks that's what Planned Parenthood gives us. That isn't what Planned Parenthood is for. It's to help women with the many, many problems that they have. But he thinks all they're for is abortion and white people. When in 1987, when the book The Birth Dearth was written, and that's the word, that plus the writings of Adolf Hitler are what this man is basing his governmental policies on. In 1987, 60% of the fetuses that were aborted every year were white. Then we started closing Planned Parenthood clinics. In 2018, only 39% of the aborted fetuses were white. Are we succeeding in increasing the number of white births? Yes, we are. It's a cute trick, and it's what he wants to do. Increase the number of white babies being born in this country. The whole thing is so ludicrous and based on a lie. We should have gotten over it a long time ago. But it's hard to get over if when you go to church and pray about it, and you hear the preacher standing in front of a white male on the cross. Now, the Bible says that Jesus had kinky woolly hair, animal-like hair, and feet of bronze. And now we know that he was an Ethiopian Jew. Well, if you're from Ethiopia, the chances are pretty good that you ain't pink.
Is it fear, envy, or ignorance that fuels this fire that they just refuse to let go of?
It is ignorance, and people like Donosaurus T. Rump, or whatever you want to call him, keep encouraging and inciting fear in people so that they will fear people of color. He wants to build a wall on the southern border of the United States so he can keep those brown-skinned people out, because he has said several times, we've got to keep out here because brown-skinned people reproduce too freely. Too many brown-skinned people is going to really kill the number of the people who have power in this country. This is all about racism. Make no mistake about that. If we can keep you afraid of, for instance, that ignorant white female with her dog called the cops to come and stop the black man in the park who was a bird watcher who asked her to leash her dog. And she called the police and told them, I think he's going to attack me. He's attacking me. Please send someone up. They sent a patrol car out to put a stop to a black man who was asking a pale-faced woman to leash her dog. Now the signs on the park said, leash your dog. But she's a female. She doesn't have to obey the rules. We're looking at the difference between liberty and justice for all. We're looking at the land of the free she was and the home of the brave where the black man was. And when I hear that song, the national anthem, I think the land of the free, that's all those white folks in the stands at a football game. And the home of the brave, that's those black males on the field who are willing to get their brains beat out in order to make enough money to keep them in their old age. That's the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That is another interesting perspective. Now, do you think the experiences that you have replicated over the years, do you think that they were like received well, or the point went across so good because did it resonate more because it was told through the eyes of children?
It didn't resonate well each time I did it. I have been called every name you could possibly call. My mother kicked me out of the family after my father died. I lost all my friends. My kids lost all their friends. My kids were beaten and spit on and abused verbally, physically, and physically because they had what to this day is called an N-word lover for a mother. That did not resonate well. The majority of the United States who agreed with what I did were smart enough to maintain a low profile, keep your head down. And that's what a number of teachers in that system did. They get along to get along. But then several years after I did that exercise, one of the parents of the kids of a child in that class stopped me on the street in Osage and said, "We've been wanting to talk to you for years. We are sorry that we didn't stand up and defend you against the kinds of things that were being said about you. But I said, wait a minute, you don't have to apologize for that. You had to live in that community and you had to get along with those folks. I could move out every day. I could drive over to Osage and live in Osage, and I didn't have to get along with those people, except with the teachers when I was in the classroom. I didn't get along with them. I found out how Typhoid Mary must have felt. I could walk down the hall and nobody would speak to me. It got to be so comical. I could ruin their day just by walking into their classroom because they were afraid somebody would see me in there and they'd think that teacher in whose room I was thinking like Jane Elliott, so they couldn't have that happen. It was just a scream. My father said one night after I complained about what was happening, he said, "Jane, just keep smiling. They'll wonder what the hell you're up to." So I'd smile and I'd laugh and I'd chuckle all the way down the hall. And they had to be wondering, why isn't she bothered? I was hating her. What's the matter with this woman? Must be crazy. Well, we knew she was crazy. Look what she did with those poor little children. And laugh and walk away. Because my kids learned something that their teachers didn't know.